Hi, and thanks for watching this final tax video where we look at personal income taxes and we wrap everything up. To wrap everything up, we need to take care of a couple of things a couple of deficiencies in the workbook as we have built it so far. Now, the first deficiency in the workbook is that right here in this taxed income, it's just simply defined as the taxable income minus the total deductions. But what if your taxed income is less than your deductions? Like, what if you only have, in this case, $8,000 of income? It's going to give you a negative tax rate. You can never have a negative tax rate. And so what we need to do is we need to put in here, we need to put the max of whatever number we would have gotten and 0. That way we can never get a max, that way we can never get a negative taxed income. Now the next thing that we need to do is there's one deficiency in our taxes paid, and that is if your income falls below this very first threshold. The document over here gives you all zeros in our indicators, and so what we need to do is in these marginal rates, but our additional income is giving us the correct amount. And so what we need to do is we just need to adjust this marginal rate number to give us the minimum marginal rate. So then what we're going to use is we're just doing an if statement. We're going to say if the base equals 0, which will only happen if our income is below this bottom threshold, then the marginal rate is going to be whatever this minimum marginal rate is going to be. If not, then just give me what we initially had previously. So now, and I'm just going to copy this and paste it in all of these places. So now our workbook is robust, and now it will take care of any income that we could possibly have. Here. So now let's go through here, and I'm going to make this, now I need to make things a little bit more pretty. So when we initially start, we're going to have zeros everywhere, and in all of our gray entry boxes right here. But what that does is that creates a couple of cases where we have these NA values. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do an if-error statement. So I'm just going to wrap whatever the function is, and basically what this does is it just says if whatever function I have, so if this function right here gives me an error, then just return a 0. And so I'm going to do that here as well. And here as well. And here as well. And then lastly, this one right here, we're going to put an if-error statement. Actually, this one I just want a blank, not an if-error. So a blank is just 2 parentheses. So now this document works. And so last thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to hide all this. So I'm going to highlight these cells, and I'm going to click hide. And so now when you open the workbook, you don't see them. And all we see is this. So now when we put our numbers in, so let's now go back and let's say I'm filing married joint with 2 kids and $60,000 in income, and I donate $1,000 to charity. I've got $8,000 in mortgage payments. I paid maybe say $3,000 in state income taxes and $2,000 in state property taxes. My 401k contributions, let's say, are $4,000. IRA, nothing. Student loan interest, $1,500. So I'm just putting in some numbers here. And so we can see that right here, our taxed income is going to be $25,000 after our deductions and our exemptions, because we have $34,000 in deductions, because we're deducting $21,000 in 401k contributions, plus our exemptions for all 4 people, and then this total itemized. So since we're taking a standard deduction, that's the case, and so then we end up paying $2,900. But I get the $2,000 child tax credit. I don't get any earned income tax credit. And I'm not claiming any child care tax credit in this. So I need total credits is going to equal your earned income tax credit plus your child tax credit plus your child care credit. And so your total tax bill is going to end up equaling whatever your taxes owed are minus your total credits. And so in this case, your tax bill would only be $928 if this was the situation that you had. So let's actually go and compare this to TurboTax. So we're going to go to TurboTax, and actually I went and put in all of these exact same numbers into TurboTax's TaxCaster document. And so if I come here, the number that they had was $931 was their estimate for what you owed. Now let's compare that to what I have, which is $928. So you can see that our document is almost exactly what TurboTax's TaxCaster estimates for us. So this, I'm just going to pretty this up a little bit, and I'm going to make this, put this a thick box border around here, and then I'm going to highlight that in, actually I'm going to use some conditional formatting on this to make it, to say, because you can theoretically get money back. And so I'm going to highlight cells greater than 0 with red, because that means I'm paying money. And I'm going to highlight cells less than 0 with green. And that way, if I got a refund, like if I had a negative tax bill, like suppose I had another kid, then our bill would actually be, I would actually get a tax refund, and I would have a negative tax rate in this situation. So I hope you have found this useful. I think this is tremendously useful in helping to understand taxes. So now when you go through, just one final thing. When you're resetting this thing, make sure that you put zeros and not blanks in these, because all the formulas are predicated on these gray cells having a 0 in there and not just a blank. So hope you've enjoyed this. Thanks a lot.